Welcome. Well, sorry for coming late today. I was a little bit late. Was trying to set up the stream, so that's why I'm a little late. This is the first stream on this channel, and I want to say that I want you to join this channel. I want you to be a member. We're gonna have a good time watching the game together. Like you said before, the goal is to have at least one game every day for the whole tournament of the World Cup. So I hope you can be a member of this family. This is a new channel. I want you to join. We're going to talk about tactics and the things that is all about soccer. So we have Canada versus Bosnia right now, and to me, it's an interesting game so far. That's a good cross. We're in the 16th minute now. We're in the 16th minute. There's a crosses into the box. That's a oh no. Oh, okay. That's a good strike by Davies. Davies is a good player, honestly. And before he got to his current club right now, I was kind of surprised on why lots of teams are not running after him to get him. It was kind of surprising to me because when he was in the French league, it was, it was scoring goals, and it was surprising because, teams, it seems as if teams are not just coming for him. That's a good turn. That's a good turn. That's a good turn. That's a good turn. Yeah. Just the match was expecting much better. Well, Canada has been putting lots of pressure on Bosnia. That kind of reflects on how much preparation these guys have done. There's nothing really much happening in the game so far, anyway. Canada's been on the front foot. That's the only thing I can say for now. Canada has been on the front foot, putting prayer on Bosnia. Actually, Bosnia, their star player, Edin Checo, is not here today. He's not on the starting line now. Yeah. So right now, looks like Canada, the starting formation of Canada is 4-4-2. 4-4-2. That's a good ball. Oh, okay. This game kind of looks as if everybody's just everywhere. Oh. The coach is not going to give a yellow card for that just because this is just the beginning of the game. If he was in the 50-something minute or 60-something minute, he'd probably get a yellow card for that. You can't just go into tackles like that. Oh no, that's absolutely dirty. Go still very. So Canada is playing 4-4-2. You have Oluwaseyi and Jonathan Davids as a true striker, and you have Buchanan, you have Kone, you have Miller, all in the midfield. And then Bosnia is also playing 4-4-2. But like I always tell you, the starting formation doesn't really matter. The starting formation doesn't really matter in soccer. Because immediately the kickoff begins, there's always going to be changes in and out of possession. Oh, that's you know what? Canada has to be very careful in the way they go into tackles. Canada seems very aggressive. At least that's what I've seen so far. They look very aggressive. Oh no! Oh no! That's a goal! Oh no! That's a goal! That is poor defending. Oh my word! That is poor defending from Canada. Oh no! Oh no! That is poor defending. How can you allow that? This is beyond me. I don't understand that. How can Canada allow that? Oh my! Oh no! Oh no! Who was that? Who was that? Oh no! Oh no! Laria, how can you allow someone to jump in your front like that, Laria? Oh my. Yeah, that doesn't look pretty. No, that's not pretty. That's a goal from set pieces. Yeah, just imagine is not happy. How can you be happy? Especially if you've trained them, you know, you've done all these things on the training field for a long time, and then you concede. You know what? I don't like it when teams concede on set pieces. If you watch the Premier League this last season, you can see that lots of teams just pay very close attention. That's a good player. That's a good player. So as I was talking to you, if you watch the Premier League this past season, you can see that lots of teams paid, you know, lots of teams focused on set pieces, especially Arsenal. Arsenal was using lots of set pieces a lot, you know. So because of that, teams had to learn how to defend against set pieces. Because Arsenal was basically using these as a cheat code, especially if Arsenal is, you know, looking for a goal, or, you know, they're trying to extend their lead and things are not looking pretty in terms of moving the ball around the field, like, you know, controlling the game. They just look for a way to get set pieces into the box and score. So that's basically what Arsenal was doing. So because of that, lots of teams had to learn how to defend against set pieces. And so when teams concede set pieces, especially if it leads to a goal, it's not always very pretty. It's not pretty. I'm a Man United fan. There was a time in which we were, especially during the hammering era, hammering, especially at the beginning, we were conceding lots of goals on set pieces, and they had to work on that to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And I was glad that he was able to fix that before he left, before he was sacked. So Canada conceded through set pieces. It's not looking good. I'm sorry, I can't show you the formation, but the statistics right now. I'm still working on that. The next stream this evening, I'm gonna have it already, so you can see the possessions, the score, the match stats, all on the screen. But for now, bear with me. You know, just look at me for now. Let's have conversations for now. Yeah, so it's basically the possession right now is 57 for Canada and 43 for Bosnia. And you have the passes for Canada, 89, and then you have 62 for Bosnia as a governor. So this is just, they have an hydration break now. They're drinking water or something, or drink, wherever, especially because this is it's warm outside, so you need something. Well, still lots of time for Canada to come back. Well, you can't wait. You can't wait around. You have to do something very quickly. Mm. And Canada has a lot of support today, of course. This is on Canadian side, so you're gonna have lots of supporters then. The opponent. Laurier. Laurier has to be very careful though. He's being too aggressive. Not just because when you play aggressively, you risk getting a card, a red card or a yellow card. But also because you don't want to injure yourself. You don't want to break your ankle or your knee. Yeah, you can. That's a foul. Yeah. It sort of looks like if this Canadian team I know well. Well, you know what? This is I can't blame them. Yeah, this is just the first game, so they're probably nervous in front of the home crowd. Oh no, that's a low one. That's a good one. That's good. Oh my. Mhm. What's going on here? Here we go. Here we go. The complaints. Here goes the complaints. Oh, okay. That looks legit though. That looks real. I thought the player was faking the contact. No, there was a contact there. You know one thing I like about Buchanan? He has he has good speed on him. He has good speed, which is good. That's a good pass. Yeah. Now is the turn. Is it now is the time for Canada to respond and score a goal. You know, Canada conceded through set pieces. So this is a good time for Canada to try and rectify the problem they caused themselves a few minutes ago by scoring a goal now. This is dangerous. Okay. Oh no. There we go. Kelly. You know what? I think this Bosnia team, okay, this Bosnia team is not really that good. Canada should be able to beat them. And another thing I like about this Canadian team is they seem to have a good walk rate. You know, Jonathan David, Laurier, they've been moving up and down the pitch. So the walk rate is not a problem. It's just about scoring goals now and playing like a football or a soccer team. Well, I'm not surprised because I'm not surprised about how Canada is playing because Jesse Marsh has been the coach that his tactics involves lots of high pressing. So I'm not surprised that that's how Canada is playing. The only thing that Canada has to do now to make sure that this game plan works throughout 90 minutes is they have to make sure that they don't get tired. If you remember Jurgen Klopp, the former coach of Liverpool, his style of playing is Gengen pressing. And Gengen pressing involves you, is basically an heavy metal football or soccer. And so it's very, very effective, but you have to make sure you don't get tired. Canada is actually playing very well. There's lots of crosses and balls into the box. I think the problem now is Jonathan David and Oluwaseyi. They just need to make sure that they are in the right place. That's a good one. That should be a goal. Oh no. Oh my word. Oh my word. This is big, extraordinary chances for Oluwaseyi. So the two forwards that Canada have now had two golden opportunities. Two opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net, but they've not taken it. They've not taken it. They've not taken it. Yeah, it's been all Canada since for the whole 32 minutes. Apart from the goal, it's been all Canada. Canada's basically been in the second half, in the opponent half, for the whole 32 minutes. That's we've been watching this game. So to me, that's a positive. The other thing now is Canada has to take it to the next level. Canada now has to make sure they put the ball in the back of the net. That's another corner for Canada. Part of me feels this game, Canada is going to draw or Canada is going to win. Except if Bosnia, you know, makes some adjustment in the second half. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the kind of tactics that Bosnia seems to be, depending on in this game seems to be counterattack. Counterattack. That's a good throw. Wow. Huh. Canada's been very physical. That's one thing I'm gonna give to them. It's been very physical. Well, It's been all Canada since, honestly. So basically, Canada is play with a two center back. This is very aggressive. And I know that's what Jason Mash likes to do. I mean, it's sort of what he likes to do. Sometimes you can see that Canada have a box at the back, which is good. You can see how quick that player got the ball. The Bosnia player, you can tell they're looking to counter and do a counter attack. That's what they're trying to do. That's a good cross. Oh, it was intercepted. Oh my. Yeah. Canada is doing everything just to come back to this game, which I'll give to them. You gotta take him out. That's a good one. Oh no. Okay. That's a corner. Canada has to make this one count. They've been having lots of opportunity for a good portion of this first half. That's a corner again. Well, honestly, why does that player feel guilty? Because it seems that I think the way he walked away sort of felt guilty of something, the Bosnia player. Because not only the ball was still in front of him, he could have just stopped the ball from going for the corner kick. So apparently feels he was expecting the referee to blow because probably the ball touched his hands. But the referee didn't blow anything. And that tells me that might actually have been a penalty. Because why would you feel guilty if you know you've not done something wrong? That's the way I see it. You can see what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have two defenders. Basically, Connor is using two defenders to play at the back, which is good. But that's an aggressive. You see, if you leave Buchanan, you get punished because he has lots of speed on him. It's a good cross. Put it in the box again. Put it in the box. I tell you what, Canada has had how many corners now? They've had lots of corners. At least they've got to make one count. One has to count. Because when you have this high number of corners, you know, instead of, I kind of don't understand how these Canadian players, when they are trying to pull the ball in the box, instead of you to go for a loop pass into the box, they just put a ground pass into the box, and that's not going to work because it's going to get intercepted. Instead of putting the ball in the ground, Put it in the heater. If Canada is not careful here, Bosnia is just going to get another chance of counterattack, and they're going to take it. And that'll be the end of the game. They're trying to play from the back. Remember, this is what South Africa did yesterday, and they got punished for it. If something is not your strength, don't try to do it. South Africa yesterday was trying to play out from the back. That was how they conceded the first goal. Canada's got to make all this momentum count. Because if all these things don't count, then it doesn't really matter. There hasn't been yellow cards or yellow cards in this game. That was in contrast to yesterday's game that was full of cautions, yellow cards and red cards. But, Canada is just trying to do lots of, I don't know, maybe after this game, they need to go and do some training on ground passes. Because for what I've seen so far, most of their passes have been intercepted. That's what I'm talking about. You see? And those players are very fast. The Bosnia players are very fast. If they catch you and they counterattack, you're done. That was what South Africa was trying to do yesterday. They were trying to play on a counterattack. Playing on a counterattack is good if you knew how to do it well. And there's nothing wrong in playing on a counterattack as long as you can do it well. Yeah, the just been all over each other this game. That's the first yellow card, I think. That's the first card, the first caution of the game. Yeah. Oh no. I mean, it just seems to safe. the Canadian team, they see that the fans are waiting for something to happen. The fans are expecting something to happen. And I don't blame them. They want to see their team win, especially because the team has got a lot of support on the field. If you look at the field, most of the part of the field are red in color. See, Bosnia, to me, that's a yellow card. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a yellow card for that. Yeah, that's a double. Gotta go, got a yellow card. So there is 4 minutes of added time. Let's see if Canada can do something spectacular before we head into the break. Mhm. Yeah, Bosnia is basically keeping things very simple. Okay, wow. This right winger of Bosnia is very fast. Very, very fast. Yeah. Vulcana has been very active in this game. He's been everywhere. She's good for him. Oh my. Oh. See, Canada's got lots of corners in this game. Let's see how much corners Canada have had. They've been having lots of corners since the start of the game. You know, that's a good one. Oh, that was probably too far from goal. And he couldn't control it on the ground anyway. Bosnia to me looks well organized. You see, that's the first time. Well, Bosnia will be happy. They've done what they've meant to do. They've done what they're supposed to do, Canada. And that's all they have to do. All they have to do is to win a game of football. And they're doing that just now. She's good. With Bosnia, to me, Bosnia has very good players. Though. They have very good players. You know, this guy. they've always been a very good team in Europe. You know, was they the last Euro or something? That they actually had a good run in the tournament, which was extraordinary and good. Bosnia is a Herzegovina. Yeah, we hope Canada can win. We hope Canada can do something spectacular. But for now, Canada is trailing 1-0. We hope things can change for better. We hope they can do better. But for now, things are not looking good yet. But I do believe Jesse Mash has what it takes to make things work for this team. That's my belief. I believe he has what it takes to make things work for this team. But we'll see what happens. But from what I've seen in the first half, let's be honest, there's nothing really that Bosnia have done, to be honest. They just got a chance on the counterattack, and that was it. So Canada has been the one who controlled the ball and you know played football. Well, when it comes to soccer, it doesn't really matter how you play. What matters is what was the score, who won the game. That's all that matters. Yeah, Canada has 66 possession to 34 of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So Canada have a lion's share of all the statistics that we have in the first half. So, but to be honest with you, that goal was diabolical. You can't concede that way. You can't concede that way. That just reminds me of the way Man United used to concede goals. It wasn't pretty, and that doesn't look pretty as well. Especially Laria was right where the ball was going to land, and Laria allowed the man to overpower him, and that's not good. These are things that you have to have learned on the training ground, especially how to mark the box, how to mark the posts, the back posts, the front posts. Those things you have to learn that the training field. That goal was close to the front post, because Laria was standing close to the front post. So, well, you can't blame Jason Mash because obviously there was a player there. Laria was there, but the other problem was Laria was probably not as tall as the other player, or Laria was not as strong as the other player, so he was overpowered. He was overpowered. But you know what? We can't complain yet. There's still a chance. There's still opportunity for Canada to do something and make things work. Yeah. Well, you know what? You can't deny the fact that Canada has been doing everything possible to get back into the game, though. They've been doing everything to get back into the game. And of course, they don't want to disappoint the folks who are standing, who came to watch them. And believe me, lots of people came from different parts of the world to watch Canada. So you have lots of people who have come to watch you. You don't want to disappoint them. You want to make sure that you put in the best show you can. So it's basically 4-4-2. That's what Canada has been playing 4-4-2. And typically, even in in possession, it's been basically two in the front. But Canada has been building with sort of box two defenders and uh, two center backs and two defenders. That's what Canada has been building upward. And then you have Jonathan Davis in the front. You have Oluwaseyi in the front. And both of them have actually had good chance. They had a very good chance to put the ball in the back of the net, but they didn't. Yeah. Well, Canada has good substitute on the bench. We have Promise David. We have Moise Bombito. Alfonso Davis as well. So Jonathan Osorio. Lots of players that could easily come here. But if I was Jesse Mash, I wouldn't do anything now, to be honest with you. Because the team actually played well. The problem is they just, you know, they have problem in being very coordinated close to goal in the box of the opponent. If they could figure out how to communicate much better in front of goal, I think Canada is going to win. So if I was Jason Marsh, I wouldn't do anything for now. I'll just let him get back into the game. I'll talk to them. I'll tell them to make sure that they communicate, especially, you know, in the box of the opponent. That way, I believe they can make something happen. Yeah. So what we have here is 68% possession for Canada and 32 for Bosnia Herzegovina. The shots on goal is one from Canada and two from Bosnia Herzegovina. And then you have the shots, you have six for Canada and you have five for Bosnia Herzegovina. The fouls, you have four for Canada, you have eight for Bosnia Herzegovina. The yellow cards, you have one for Canada, and then you have two for Bosnia Herzegovina. No red cards, no offsides, nine corner kicks for Canada, and one corner kick for Bosnia Herzegovina. I tell you what, that's a lot of corner kick. And Canada has not been able to make good use of those corner kicks. I'm not even talking about scoring the goal, but just testing the defense, testing the keeper, the goalkeeper. They could have done better without lots of chances. You know, and when it comes to saves by the keeper, it's just 1-1 apiece. I hope. I just want Canada to win. I want them to win. And today, just to remind you, we're going to be doing USA versus Paraguay today. USA versus Paraguay. We're going to be doing that today. Well, when it comes to this group, to be honest, Canada actually have a good group in this World Cup. They have a good group. So I don't think there should be any problem qualifying from that group. Canada should be able to qualify from that group. If they don't, it's going to be a huge disappointment. A huge one. You have to qualify. Yeah. This 15 minutes all of a sudden looks like a long time. We'll see what happens in the second half. Canada has to do something. You see, this group is one of the easiest group in the tournament. You have Bosnia Herzegovina, you have Qatar, you have Switzerland, and you have Canada. So if Canada does not qualify from this group, oh my, no, that's not good. They have to qualify because I'm sorry to say, but they have to beat Qatar and they have to beat Swiss. Well, I don't think they're going to beat Switzerland. Switzerland is probably the toughest team in this league, in this group. If Canada fails, I think I'm gonna go with Switzerland and Bosnia Herzegovina to qualify from this group. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything different this second half. Sorry, I will do something different, but I wouldn't make any changes. The problem Canada has now is, remember, they've had two chances and they've not been able to put a ball in the back of the net. But you have to be able to do that because now here we go for the second half. That's a good shot. That's a good one. You know what? Jesse Marsh is actually is being truthful to himself because most of all, if you Jesse Marsh have always been known with 4-4-2. That's where he plays normally 4-4-2. And sometimes that 4-4-2 can look like 4-2-4-3-2, in which you have 4 defenders, you have 2 defensive midfielders, then you have two midfielders and then two forwards. What I can see now is Canada is basically playing high up the pitch. The defenders are up, they're trying to push up. And I think that's a good tactics. Because if you can push your opponent backwards, then that means you have a small distance between where the ball is and the keeper, the goalkeeper of the opponent. That's a good shot. Oh no! Oh my word! That should have been in the back of the net. So that is like as I was talking to you, what I think Canada is trying to do now is they're trying to push their defensive line high up the pitch. And the reason why teams do that is because if you push your defenders high up the pitch, for example, let's say your defenders are in the middle of the pitch. That means your defenders and your midfielders and your strikers will be high up the pitch, even much farther than the opponent has. And that way, if you can get your players, your midfielders, and your strikers to control the ball where they have a good chance of scoring. Because the distance between where they are to the goalkeeper of the opponent is small. And that's what I think Canada is trying to do here. Oh, my word. That's a penalty. Okay. Okay. To me, that looks like there's a contact there. That's a collision between Uluashei and the goalkeeper of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And of course, what led to that was a ball over the top. There was a ball over the top. And Uluashei chased the ball and came in contact with the goalkeeper. At first glance, I thought that was a penalty, but we're going to see it again and see exactly what happened. But right now, the keeper is the one who's still on the ground. He's not standing up now. Huh. Oh, no. The keeper is in trouble, honestly. The keeper is in trouble. Oh, no. The keeper is in trouble. The keeper is in trouble. At least they're going to give him a yellow card for that. And that's a free kick. The keeper got there first, but there was still a punch on the head. Nothing was given. Because the reason why nothing was given was because the goalkeeper got there first. That's a good one. Oh my word, that's a good one. Oh no. Okay. That's a good pricing. That's a good pricing from Canada. Yeah. This game has had lots of physical challenges, physical contact. I mean, of course, it's a physical contact game, but what I mean is there's been lots of heavy contact between both teams. It's a good cross into the box. You know one thing about this game? None of them really cares about tactics, about playing out from the back. No, they don't care. They just want to go direct and score goal. That's what they want to do. I was wondering if Canada actually took Bosnia for granted. Probably they thought they could defeat Bosnia with ease. And if that's what happened, then that's a huge mistake from Canada. Because Bosnia has been a very strong nation, a nation of soccer in Europe, in the world, for a very long time now. So my belief is Canada should have done the assignment to see what it can do to overpower this team. That's a good pass. That's a good one. Should be a goal. That, oh, oh my word. Oh my word. Oh my word. Oh my word. That was so close. That was so close. That is very unlucky. Oh my word. That was so close. Look at that. Oh my word. Woo. Wow. I wonder how that is not. I wonder why that was not in the back of the net. That should be in the back of the net. That should be in the back of the net. Oh no, what's going on in this game? It almost feels as if it's hand to hand. A few minutes ago, there was a goal that was meant to happen, and now, I mean, a goal that Canada is meant to score. They failed to score it, and now Bosnia is starting, and they never took the chance as well. Wow, just feels like hand to hand to me. This is a strip now. Yeah, this game is always like hand to hand. Like I said before, there is no thinking too much about tactics. No, both teams just want to score goals. They just want to go direct. There is no there is no possession game. No, they just want to score. There's another chance for Canada. Oh no! Wow, Canada is this game is very open now. It's an open game. It's an open game now. Well, when players take too long to take a throw or to play a corner kick, that is time wasted. And that's exactly what we saw in the Premier League all season last season. There was lots of time wasted. And I think because of that, FIFA puts in some regulations in place for these World Cup just to make sure that nobody does the tactics of time wasting. Because to be honest with you, that's very unfair. You know, you want to take a throw, you're taking 2 minutes to take a throw. Just because your team is on the lead, you want to make sure you waste all the time possible so that the game can end quickly. Oh my. Another chance for Canada to put the ball in the box from the corner kick. Yeah. Bosnia have lots of tall players, and that could be what gives them the edge in this game, especially when it comes to set pieces. Because if they keep getting other chances from set pieces, and put it this way, they didn't have as much set pieces opportunity like Canada. Canada has had lots of corner kicks compared to Bosnia. But Canada has not been making good use of those chances. Well, Bosnia made good use of theirs. And they keep trying to get another one in the back of the net through set pieces. Obviously, this is one weakness that Jason Mash has to work on. Set pieces. Because if you are trained well for set pieces, probably should have a go now through set pieces because you've had lots of corner kicks and lots of ball into the box. Where all those ball into the box and the corner kicks have done nothing to make the opponents afraid. There's a chance for Canada now. That's an offside. Well, we're close to the 60 minute now, and Canada still hasn't done much. They've not done really, they've not done much. Yeah, Schafferberg. Schafferberg. And then who's coming out? Oh, Davies is coming out. Well, I'm not surprised that it took David out because there's been lots of lack of coordination and communication in the box. And you don't want to wait till the 90th minute or the 6th or the 80th minute for you to make these changes. You want to make the changes now so they can count. This is the time to score goals. You don't want to score goals in the 80th minute and the 90th minute because as the time ticks, the more pressure you have. So right now they probably have less pressure. So you might as well, especially Canada, you might as well call the goal now. That's a good. You know what? Laria has been everywhere on the pitch today, which is good. There's been substitution as well from Bosnia Herzegovina. They've taken out Lukic, I think so. So there's been lots of players leaving the pitch and players coming in the pitch. Yeah, there's lots of what I can call foul play from Canada. It's good to be very physical, but you can't start fighting on the pitch. Oh, that might be a yellow card. You should be grateful you never got a yellow card because if you kick the ball like that, if you kick the ball away, then you deserve a yellow card. That's a good ball. Control the ball. That's a good one. Now they got to make these counts. Oh, that's a good. Oh, that was blocked. One thing that Promise David could offer now that he's been is in the box, is I think is a powerful player, so he can use his strength to overpower the defenders of Bosnia Herzegovina. Maybe that's going to have Canada to score. Sometimes all you need, and I'm not surprised that that's exactly what Jesse Marsh did because Canada actually have had lots of chances, lots of ball into the box, and those balls have not been taken advantage of. So for Jesse Marsh to change the striker, I totally understand because what he's trying to do is, hey, my tactics are working. I have ball in the box often. But the problem is my strikers are not convacting the ball, putting the ball in the back of the net. And so what he did was right. To bring in a physical player, that's a good one. That is wonderful. Well, Canada has always been in the front foot from the start of this game. Even Canada has been good. That's a good ball. That's a good ball. That's a good cross, too. That's a good. Oh, my word. You know what I said? I think the changes that Justin Match has made has been wonderful. Oh, my word. I think Canada needs to put more ball in the box. They need to put more ball in the box. That's going to help them. put more ball in the box. That's gonna help you. Wow. Hmm. I think Canada needs more ball in the box. Oh my word. Okay. That's the chance for Bosnia. This could be deadly. This could be deadly. This could be deadly. That's good. Canada. That's good. Canada has a chance. I mean, Canada needs to do more in terms of how they make, how they pass the ball around. Because all I've seen so far has just been, it's not been really impressive, especially how they move the ball around. They've been very good when it comes to putting the ball in the box. They've been very good with that. There's nothing bad about that. And they've been actually playing exactly what I expected as a Jesse match player. Attacking, very, very aggressive. Defending, very, very aggressive. Especially the way they play is they try to create chaos. That's the way just a match team like to play. They create chaos. You know, sometimes if they have the chance, they can counterattack. Also, when it comes to defending, they're very, very resilient. So those are the things that. But also, with everything good, there's always vulnerabilities in all those things. And the vulnerabilities of just in match tactics is burnout. Of course, if you have your players run around for 90 minutes, they run around like they had a goat, you know, they run around through the whole 90 minutes, they're gonna get tired. Except if they're a machine, and they're no machine. They're human beings. So if you run around too much, you're gonna get tired. Hopefully you don't get tired. We'll see what happens. Right now, they're going through hydration break. They're drinking water just to make sure they're not too tired. So or drained, energy drained, which is good. Yeah, it's been quite Canada all through. To be honest with you, Canada has been all over Bosnia Herzegovina. They've all been. Canada has been the more aggressive team. So we'll see what happens. I hope we can make good change. I think right now you can't make too much changes because Jesse Marsh just made some changes, so you don't want to make too much changes. But if there's anything he has to do, this is the right time for him to do it. Any changes you have to make, this is the time for you to make those changes. Because right now we are probably in the currently right now we're in the 71st minute of the game. So this is now the beginning of the game anymore. So if you have to make there's any tactical changes you have to do, this is the time for you to do it. If there's any tactical thing you have to do, this is the time for you to do it. I want to believe that Jesse Mash, is going to be able to rescue something from this game. Because the least I'm expecting is a draw in this game. Canada can't afford to lose. Canada cannot afford to lose. No. The least I'm expecting in this game is a draw. The least I'm expecting is a draw. And I hope Jesse Marsh can deliver because I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't really think that they can survive against Switzerland. I don't think so. Switzerland is probably much, much disciplined than Bosnia and Herzegovina. So if I were Canada, I would take the chances. I would take this opportunity to win this game. We'll see what happens. Canada has a chance to make things better. There we go. Alfonso Davies is probably thinking that, hey, why am I so unlucky? And now another substitution from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And right now we have 20. There's lots of changes here from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think part of me just believes that this team, Canadian team, all they want to do is to just be very physical and, look for everything possible just to get the ball in the box. Which I agree with that, but you have to show some tactical play to make sure that you're able to make that happen. You can't just depend on physical features, physical attributes, physical strength to get you to win games. No. There has to be some tactical aspects. There has to be some tactical acumen just to make sure that those things have to be there. You see what I'm talking about? These people are well organized. They're very organized. They're very organized. They know how to control the ball, and to me, they look well prepared for this tournament. especially when it comes to keeping the ball on the ground. And that has been the weakness of Canada. Canada seems to not have the ability to be able to control the ball on the ground. They've been able to put 2 or 3 passes together. Now we have Larry. Larry is in. And after that substitution, there's only one substitution left for Canada. Johnston is on the ground. There we go. That's a good ball in the box. Oh my. And so Larry, so looks like Canada is basically playing something that looks close to 4-2-4 right now. Extraordinary. Well, that shouldn't surprise. That shouldn't be a surprise to me because just imagine, as I've told you before, this man, his style of play is very aggressive. So if he's looking for a goal, you can bet that he's going to go very aggressive. And that's exactly what we're looking at now. Because to me, it looks like he's playing 4-2-4. 4 strikers. Basically, they're trying to push Herzegovina into their own box. That's a good turn. Oh, that's a good goal. Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That is a good goal. Oh, my word. You see what I'm talking about? That's exactly what you call a good striker. Jonathan David is nothing. I have nothing bad to say about you. I mean, you can see exactly what I was talking about. Right from the beginning of this game, Canada's had good chances. There's always been free flow of the football, of the soccer, on the pitch for Canada. But the main problem has been Canada has not been able to, okay. He's onside. He's onside. It's a goal. There's no problem. He's onside. I wanted to be skeptical the other time. Probably that's, I thought he was offside. No. That's a good ball. There's a good ball in the back of the net. That's exactly what it means to be a good striker. I tell you what, I think Canada might actually win this game because Bosnia and Herzegovina, here's the thing. I think we might see a good game now going forward because Bosnia probably was trying to keep the 1-0 lead they had because I think they were playing 4-5-1 the other time. But now that they've conceded a goal, they're probably going to change their tactics and go and try and score another goal. And if they do that, Canada is not going to start defending. So we have a good game. We have both teams trying to attack each other, and then we're going to have a good game. I've always been saying that the kind of games I like to watch are games that both teams trying to attack. I don't like watching games in which both teams are just sitting back and, playing defensive game all through. I'm not interested in such games like that. Oh my. Who is on the ground here? That looks like promise. He's onside. He's onside. He's onside. Yeah, he's onside. He's onside. He's onside. Now Canada is going to try and go for the win, which I think everyone would expect. Bosnia, they've not really changed their tactics. They're still trying to keep everything tight at the back and hope for a counterattack. Lots of support for Canada here, which is good to see. I'm looking forward to see the kind of support that America has this evening, because that nation, a wonderful nation, is now really big into soccer. But I was watching an interview from David Beckham, and David Beckham was saying that the first time he came to the States, and he was talking to the president of an academy. He was telling the president and asking that, hey, what is the path for players to get to the first team? What I'm trying to say is, how does players move from the academy to the first team, the first 11? And the president couldn't give him an answer, and he was kind of surprised that how is soccer going to grow in a country when you have no academy? When you look at England, they call it football in England. Football in England was able to grow because lots of players came through academy. Academy is basically kind of like a club for young players, especially under 18, or, 18, something like that, 18 years of age. So players in academy, they mature, and then they get transferred into the first team. So when David Beckham was told that there was no academy, he was kind of surprised. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they play today, the States, and to see if anything has changed in the past few years. Bosnia is actually trying to score now. They're not staying back. They're not satisfied with the draw. They're trying to score. Because I can see they've been trying to put a little bit more prayer in Canada. Kind of just have to make sure they are very alert. And now we're in the 85th minute of the game. You know what? If Canada, like I was talking to you about before, if this game's end in a draw, in a tie, That's okay for Canada. That's okay for Bosnia too. I'm very sorry, but I think Qatar is going to be the scapegoat. It's going to be the one that takes all the punishment in this group. I may be wrong, but I think Qatar is going to get beat by all three teams. You go as a cross into the box. That's basically what Canada can. Oh, okay. Okay. This guy is very. What's his name? He has a good pace on him. He's always running like Usain Bolt. We're in the 87th minute of the game. And Canada right now, you can see five forwards or so. In fact, Canada is throwing everything to Bosnia. They want to try and win the game, which is what is expected of them by the fans that have all come here today to watch them. And Canadian players, to me, they look very confident right now. And of course, when you score a goal, when you've been losing for the whole game and you score a goal, you feel good about yourself and your confidence goes up. They just have to make sure they stay alert, not to be too complacent or overconfident and concede and lose the game. We still have a few seconds to go, and then we'll probably have a few minutes of added time. And so for the old game, we've actually had 12 minutes. We'll have 12 attempts from Canada, 7 attempts from Bosnia, and 4 attempts on targets for Canada, which has not been bad at all. Let's see how many minutes we're going to have. 6 minutes. 6 minutes of added time in this game. Let's see if anything dramatic happens in these last 6 minutes. We're going to see which team is trying to score and which team just wants to survive. And to me, right now, looks like both teams are still trying to see if they can score. I was wrong when I thought Bosnia was trying to just go home with the draw. No, I think they want to win as well. Canada is trying to make a change now. You have Estacol coming out for Osorio. That's a good control of the ball. Oh my word, what's going on here? How can you take on 5 players? Oh my word, what's going on? Is there a okay, okay. That's a foul by promise. That's a foul by promise. If that was not a foul, it would have been true on goal. And have 2 minutes of a 6 minutes gone. I want you to remember that we're going to be doing a live stream as well for USA versus Paraguay tonight. We're going to be here. We're going to have fun. Let's see. We'll try to make the stream a little bit more professional looking than this. There's a yellow card for Bosnia as a governor, Katic. Nikola Katic. I sort of love those names. You know, was the Croatian players. They sort of have names, Modric, Jovic, everything hands with an itch. Wonderful names. That's good. I mean, Bosnia, they're not giving up here. They're trying everything possible to still score. I kind of like that. They want to score goal. They just don't want to rely on what they have. Because you can't predict what's going to happen in the rest of the game. So the best you can do is the game you have right now. You have to make good use of it. You have to do your job. Make sure that's a good cross. Can Canada do something here? That's a good goalkeeping. I think Canada should be putting more ball into the box. We have good strikers on the other part. They have good tall strikers that should be able to, fight for the ball in the air and make it happen for Canada. But I've not seen lots of ball into the box, which is kind of disappointing. Canada is still playing with confidence. They're still trying to move the ball around. They're not looking. Let's see if they're panicking. Still trying to find a way through the defense of Bosnia as a governor. That's in the box. This could be it. This could be it, Larry. Oh my word. Oh my word. God, they came so close again. If I was Jesse Marsh, I'm going to be starting Larry in the next game. Because the few minutes he's had in this game has been very, very productive. Probably all the chances that David and Oluwaseyi had in the first half, if it was Larry who had those chances, we'll probably have more goals in this game than these now. And this is not about bashing David. He's a good player. He plays for a good club. Well, in this particular game, I think Larry deserves to start the next game. And I'll be kind of surprised if Larry didn't start. That was the chance. That was a good strike from Larry. But it was also a good interception from Bosnia Herzegovina. We probably have that's the last kick of the game, I think. That's it. So we have a tie in this game. We have Canada 1, and we have Bosnia Herzegovina 1. Larry in the 79th minute, and Lukic in the 21st minute. So it's been an extraordinary game. I'm kind of happy for Canada, not America. Mexico won yesterday. Canada drew today, which is positive. And now we're going to see what the USA is going to do this night. We hope North America we can all say at the end of today that North America has made us proud so far. And I want to thank you very much for you who joined this stream. This is the first stream. And we know that sometimes it can take a while for folks to start joining the community. But we're very optimistic that more people are going to join, going to have fun together. And so thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. And I will see you tonight. The game between United States and Paraguay. I'll be right here to watch the game with you, and we're going to have a good time together. If you like, you can bring your soccer. Thank you. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.